So, Stranger Things is officially over. After 10 long years and 5 arguably longer seasons, the hit Netflix show finally came to an end just a couple weeks ago. It did not go well.
Were you guys happy with the ending of each of your characters?
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys are better writers than me.
For like a solid week after the finale, it felt like every corner of the internet was coming out in mass to share their opinions on this final season. Some people praised it, a lot more seemed to despise it, and a concerning amount lost their f***ing minds. Conformity Gate, or the conspiracy that there was a secret 9th episode, took the internet by storm, all for this theory to go absolutely nowhere. Now, with the release of the season 5 behind the scenes documentary, I'm already starting to see another wave of disappointed fans airing out their grievances, and for good reason. Personally, I didn't love season 5. In fact, I kinda thought it was the weakest by far. But it's not the season itself that's driven me to make this video. It's everything that's happened afterwards.
Like, I really shouldn't have done any of these post-mortem interviews because I'm not in a good place.
For some reason, the Duffer Brothers, the dudes who made Stranger Things, decided it would be a good idea to go on a tour of what I can only describe as the worst post-game interviews of all time, giving us such gems as Vecna, the guy who can essentially read minds, not expecting a sneak attack. And actually, Eleven couldn't have used her powers to talk to Mike at the end, so who knows what the fuck that was. Now, they've said a lot more than just that, some would argue too much, and it feels like there's a whole slew of half-baked answers the fans have been getting upset with, but for me, there's one comment that stands above the rest. One answer so egregious that I am making a video on a show I've never even talked about. Something so stupid that, at least for me, pretty much ruins the entire show. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to strap in because today we're going to talk about in the first episode of the very first season of Stranger Things, the character Will Byers gets taken to the Upside Down by a Demogorgon. We know this, it's old news. However, in pursuit of Will, we get this scene. As you can see, the Demogorgon walks up to Will's front door and seemingly uses telekinesis to unlock it from the other side. But there's one problem. Demogorgons explicitly do not possess the power of telekinesis. So the question, for the longest time, was who opened the door? In fact, before season 5 even came out, the Duffers themselves went on to draw attention to this question, specifically saying it was a Demogorgon chasing Will, not Vecna, and that Demogorgons definitely cannot magically unlock doors. So now that the finale season is out, who was it? Who opened the door? We don't know. We just straight up did not get the answer in season 5. But in an interview with the creator Pay or Wait, which I will link to below, all credit to her, great interview, the Duffer Brothers had this to say.
We always thought it was a Demogorgon that took him, but Demogorgons, they don't have telekinesis. That had to have been Vecna.
I don't know what to say. But yes, you're very correct. The Demogorgons do not have telekinesis.
That's a confirmation in my eyes. I'm just gonna say that's confirmed, okay?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we can confirm it right now.
You heard that correctly. We just heard the Duffer Brothers confirm that it was Vecna who opened the door. Case closed, problem solved, right? Wrong. There's two major problems with this explanation. The first, and by far the most glaring, is that at this point in the show, Vecna hadn't even been thought up yet. When I was making the script, I researched high and low, and I couldn't find the Duffers outright say when they came up with Vecna, but I did find them saying it definitely wasn't season 1. If I had to guess, it would have been around like season 3 when they realized, oh fuck, we still gotta make 2 more seasons. But, and I want to make clear, as a fan of the show for the past decade, I find the second problem way more offensive. So, what is it? We already had an answer to this question, and it was way better than Vecna. Going back to episode 1, there's a few key moments I need to highlight real quick. Number 1, the door gets telepathically unlocked, Will runs out of the house and towards the shed in his backyard. Number 2, despite no one else being home, as Will enters the shed, the door is already open and the light is already on. Number 3, when Hopper goes to investigate the shed, we hold on a frame of what appears to be a knocked over box that had previously been home to sleeping bags. In fact, we hold on this frame twice. Number 4, while sitting in the diner, Eleven uses her telekinesis to shut off a fan. Do you see where I'm going with this? Later in episode 2, while looking at a picture of Mike and the gang, Eleven is stunned and directly points out Will, to which Mike says,
"You know Will? Did you see him? Last night?"
After that, Eleven flips over a board to try to communicate what the Upside Down is, placing Will's D&D character smack in the middle. She says, hiding. Mike says, from who? to which she places next to Will, the Demogorgon. And finally, in episode 3, when asked to bring them to Will, 11 leads the gang straight to his house and proceeds to say, "Here, hiding." If you're at all picking up what I'm putting down, you might have realized I'm talking about the 11 Will replacement theory. Basically, it's the idea that Will was never the intended target. 11 was. She was probably hiding from the Demogorgon in Will's shed and witnessed him get chased in the crossfire. Rather than draw further attention to herself, Elle, being a scared child, used her powers to unlock the front door, allowing Will to ultimately be taken instead of her. The problem is, I don't really think this was ever meant to be a theory. I think actually, across the first 3 episodes of the first season, as well as the rest of the season, the show very intentionally drip feeds us clues, like the ones I just covered, pretty explicitly pointing out this theory to be what happened. Though apparently, 10 years later, it just isn't anymore. I guess it was just Vecna. He must have remotely controlled the demo and used his powers to open the door. How satisfying is that? God, I love the Duffer Brothers, and I love... Walking away from Stranger Things after all these years, my biggest question is really, what went wrong? The show started off as this contained mystery sci-fi thriller thing with elements of comedy and horror, and then 2 seasons later we were in full action comedy territory. Season 4 swung back with a good mystery and good horror, but by then the adjective contained was long since not applicable. I think there's something to be said about the MCUification of Stranger Things and the immense quality drop-offs, especially in season 5. But I don't really know who's at fault. Was it the Duffers who openly went into the finale episode without a developed script and may have allegedly used ChatGPT? Was it Netflix who shot down the original idea for the show to be an anthology after season 1? Was it the fans for maybe overanalyzing and setting the expectations a little too high? Is it all 3? I don't know. I try to approach my criticisms for movies and television with a level of empathy for the people making it. Funny enough, Sean Levy, the last victim of my empathy, also worked on Stranger Things. But in this case, I just don't know. I'd love to say the Duffer Brothers didn't just lose the sauce. I'd love to just say the evil corporate overlords squeezed what was once a perfect show for everything it could possibly have, and then some. But when you parade around actively retconning things from the best part of your show, when you retroactively change great, subtle storytelling on a whim, all to justify what was probably 2 seasons too many, my empathy dwindles fast. I think Stranger Things 5 is really a lesson in speaking less and doing more. I wouldn't be making this video if they didn't call attention to this question beforehand, proceed to not answer it in the season, and then casually confirm something that made no sense after the fact. Shit, an extra 30 minutes across the season and you probably could have avoided Conformity Gate altogether. That must have sucked to watch get that popular. But at a certain point, did you not kinda do it to yourself? When something tells you what it is, you have to listen. We know the original plan was not 5 seasons with this cast. So turning around and saying season 5 was the amalgamation of 10 years of planning is just not true. Maybe you didn't land the show to the best of your ability. But please, do not then turn around and start tampering with what was genuinely a perfect season of television. So what do you think? Was it truly just Vecna all along? Did you like season 5? Will you watch what will probably be countless sequels and spin-offs to come? Thank you for listening to me ramble, and I will see you in the next one. Thank God Steve lived, bro. Duffers, do not say a word.